So we need a credible opposition in this country. And I put it to you, as a Labour Party man, that Starmer's plea with his own party not to join picket lines, he's been made to look ridiculous today, hasn't he?
I don't know. I actually arrived in from Italy at about 2 o'clock to Gatwick Airport, terrified I'd have to walk back to London from Gatwick, and I got, within 1 minute of arriving, a train to Victoria. And I actually think the point you were making earlier, that the country's adjusted to this rather well, is the right approach. And that makes so much sense, because the paradox of this strike is that it's a pure Margaret Thatcher strike, in the sense that she passed a law saying you couldn't go on strike without a secret ballot and a majority. Well, 9 out of 10 RMT members voted in a ballot with a higher participation than it was that got Boris Johnson into power in 2013.
Dennis, I get it. I get it.
And I think, I mean, when I was an MP, the people who talked about railway problems all the time were Tory MPs from Shire counties complaining that the ticket office was going to be closed, or it wasn't open on a Sundays, or there wasn't enough staff. And of course, all of those demands from Tory MPs in isolated, more rural bits of Britain costs money. And in every other, what strikes me coming just flying in as it happens from Italy on a very good railway system, no other country in Europe needs to go on strike. We have the worst transport minister in British and in European history.
We can argue that. Listen, you can argue that, Nick.
So why? No, but that's very important.
But the point is, it's all well and good to criticise, and we could criticise the price of railways and many other things that we could criticise, and I would perhaps agree with you on some of those things. But the question I'm asking is, how is the leader of the Labour Party credible when he threatens potential disciplinary action, and the leader of Scottish Labour, amongst others, goes and joins the RMT picket line? Where is Her Majesty's loyal opposition on this important national issue?
People in the Labour Party are quite emotional about railway workers. I mean, they're a bit like miners in the old days, and railway workers always have a hold. I mean, the RMT actually left the Labour Party, disaffiliated from the Labour Party, stopped giving any money to the Labour Party, supported you, Nigel. They were the biggest union to back Brexit.
Yes,
there we are.
But now they're funding. They're funding Labour MPs. But Dennis, we can talk about the railways, we can talk about the government, we can talk about the RMT and its history, its colourful history. You know, Bob Crow, the predecessor, was very colourful as well. We can talk about all that. Where is the Labour? What is the Labour Party's policy?
The Labour Party is... What is it? It is simply to say, here we have Britain's biggest combined transport problem in decades. We can't fly. Going out to Italy last week, it was a nightmare. We're held up. My daughter had a very important family reunion flight cancelled because SHAPS will not intervene. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, says, nothing to do with me. I'm going off to Kiev. Oh, by the way, I'm having a general anaesthetic for my nose problem. But I can go to a big posh ball to raise money for the Tory Party.
I'm not talking about Boris. I know, but I talk about Boris on this programme very often.
You are, you're very sharp on it. But the point is, this is a Prime Minister utterly running away from the biggest responsibility the Prime Minister has, which is to keep Britain moving.